the little boat that learned to rest. Along a quiet shore where the sand was soft and pale, there lived a small wooden boat named Miro. Miro was not very big, and his sail was a little faded, but he loved the sea more than anything else in the world. Every day, he would rock gently against the old harbor, watching the waves roll in and out, slow and steady. But every night, when the sky turned dark and the other boats grew still, Miro found it hard to rest. His little sail would flutter nervously, and his wooden body would creak with worry. "I wish I could feel calm like the harbor water," Miro said softly, watching the still, dark sea around him. Just then, a small seagull named Fen landed gently on the edge of the harbor wall. Her feathers were soft and white, and her eyes glowed kindly in the moonlight. "Why don't you rest tonight?" Fen asked, tilting her head. "The tide is calm, the wave is soft. There is nothing to fear out here." "I don't know how," Miro admitted. "My sail keeps fluttering, even when there's no wind." Fen ruffled her feathers thoughtfully. "Then let me show you something. There's a quiet place further along the shore where the tide moves so gently, even the smallest shell feels safe. Would you like to see it?" They passed rows of sleepy boats resting in the harbor, their sails folded neatly, rocking only a little as the wave moved beneath them. Miro watched them enviously. They all looked so calm, so still, so ready for the night. "How do they do it?" Miro asked. "How do they stay so calm?" Soon they reached a quiet cove, tucked behind a cluster of smooth grey rocks. The water here was almost still, rippling only slightly, glowing faintly under the moonlight. Along the sandy floor beneath the shallow water, dozens of small shells rested peacefully, half buried in the soft sand. "This is the calm cove," Fen explained. "The tide barely reaches here. Even on stormy nights, this little corner of the sea stays soft and quiet." Miro floated gently into the cove, feeling the water around him grow still and smooth. His sail, which had been fluttering nervously all evening, began to relax, drooping softly in the windless air. "It's so quiet here," Miro whispered. "That's the secret," Fen said, settling onto a nearby rock. "The sea doesn't have to be loud to be full of life. Sometimes the quietest water holds the most peaceful rest." Miro watched the moonlight glimmer softly across the surface of the cove, its glow spreading like a soft blanket over the water. A single shell nearby caught the light, shimmering faintly, pale and pearly against the dark sand. "Do you see that shell?" Fen asked. "It doesn't need to move to be beautiful. It simply rests, letting the tide gently roll around it. Maybe rest is like that too. You don't need to do anything. You simply let it happen." "I think I understand," Miro said quietly. "I don't have to fight the tide to feel safe. I just have to let it carry me, slowly, gently, toward rest." Fen nodded, her feathers glowing softly under the moonlight. "That's exactly right. The tide always knows the way. You only have to trust it." The wave outside the cove rolled in slowly, then rolled back out again, over and over, like a soft breathing rhythm. Miro listened to the quiet rush and pull of the water, feeling his sail grow heavier, his little wooden hull sinking gently into the calm. "Would you like to see one more place before you rest?" Fen asked softly. "There's a lighthouse not far from here. Its glow is very gentle. Sailors say it helps tired boats find their way to sleep." Miro nodded, curious, and slowly let the tide carry him out of the calm cove, following Fen's soft white shape as she flew low along the shoreline. The moon hung high above them now, round and pale, casting its glow across the gentle waves. Soon they came to a tall lighthouse standing quietly on a rocky point. Its light did not flash brightly or spin quickly like Miro expected. Instead, it glowed low and steady, a warm amber light that pulsed slowly like a calm heartbeat over the sea. "This is the old harbour light," Fen said. "It has been glowing over these waters for a very long time. Sailors say its glow reminds every boat that the harbour is always waiting, safe and warm, no matter how far they've sailed." Miro watched the slow, steady pulse of the lighthouse. Its amber glow spread gently over the water, turning each small wave into a soft golden ripple. "It's beautiful," Miro whispered. "It's meant to feel that way," Fen said. "A gentle glow, not a bright one. Bright lights can startle tired eyes. But a soft glow simply says, 'You are safe, you can rest now.'" Miro floated closer to the rocky point, watching the golden light reflect across the dark water. In the distance, he could see the outlines of other boats returning slowly to the harbour, their sails lowered, drifting quietly beneath the glow of the lighthouse. "They're all going home," Miro said. "Yes," Fen replied. "Even the boats that sail far away always find their way back, guided gently by the glow. No matter how big the wave, no matter how far the journey, the lighthouse glow always leads them home." Miro watched one small sailboat drift past them, its sail folded neatly, rocking gently in time with the slow rhythm of the tide. The sailor aboard seemed to be resting already, curled beneath a soft blanket, lulled by the quiet creak of the wood and the whisper of the wave against the hull. "I want to feel like that," Miro said softly. "So calm, so still." "You already do," Fen said, her voice growing quieter now, softer, sleepier. "Look at your own sail, Miro." Miro glanced down and noticed his sail had stopped fluttering completely. It hung soft and loose, gently swaying with the slow rhythm of the tide, calm and unhurried. "You're already learning," Fen whispered. "The glow of the lighthouse, the hush of the cove, the rhythm of the wave. They've all been teaching you, little by little, how to let go." Miro felt his wooden body grow heavy and warm, rocking slowly in the golden light of the lighthouse. The wave outside moved gently, rolling in, rolling out, a slow and steady rhythm, like a lullaby made of water and moonlight. "Thank you, Fen," Miro murmured, his voice growing sleepy and slow. "Rest now," Fen said softly, her feathers glowing faintly in the last light of the lighthouse. "The tide will carry you gently home." Miro closed his eyes for just a moment, listening to the soft creak of his own wooden hull, rocking gently with the tide. He could hear the distant call of another gull somewhere far along the shore, soft and faint, blending into the quiet hush of the night. Fen spread her wings and glided low over the water, leading Miro slowly back toward the harbour. The moonlight glimmered across the surface of the sea, turning every small wave into a shimmering ribbon of silver light. "Not much further now," Fen said softly. "Just past the old stone pier and we'll be home." Miro drifted quietly, feeling the tide pull him gently forward, past smooth rocks glistening with sea spray, past clusters of shells resting peacefully along the sandy shallows, their pale shapes glowing faintly under the moon. As they rounded the old stone pier, the harbour came into view, rows of quiet boats resting side by side, their sails folded, their hulls rocking softly in the calm water. A few soft lanterns glowed along the pier, their light reflecting gently across the harbour, blending with the moon's silver glow. "Home," Miro whispered. "Home," Fen echoed softly, landing gently on a wooden post near the water's edge. Miro floated slowly into his usual spot in the harbour, nestled between two other sleeping boats. Their sails, like his, hung loose and calm, rocking only slightly with the slow rhythm of the tide. "Do you feel it now?" Fenn asked quietly. "The calm?" Miro let out a slow, peaceful creak, his wooden body settling gently into the still water. "Yes," he whispered. "I feel it everywhere, in the wave, in the glow, in the tide beneath me." "That's the harbor's gift," Fenn said, her voice growing softer and softer, like a lullaby fading into sleep. "No matter how far a boat sails, no matter how big the wave becomes, the harbor always welcomes them back into its calm." Miro looked up one last time at the moon, glowing steadily above the quiet harbor, its light spreading gently across the water like a soft blanket. He watched a single cloud drift slowly across its face, unhurried, calm, and free, before continuing on its way. "Good night, Fenn," Miro murmured. "Good night, little boat," Fenn whispered back, her feathers glowing faintly in the moonlight. "Let the tide carry you into your dreams." The harbor grew quiet. The wave outside moved gently, rolling in, rolling out, softer and softer with each slow pulse. The shells along the shallow sand rested peacefully, half hidden beneath the calm water, glowing faintly under the moon. Miro felt his sail grow heavy, his wooden hull rocking slower and slower, cradled gently by the tide. The soft glow of the harbor lanterns flickered warmly around him, blending with the moonlight into one soft golden hush. "I don't have to fight the wave," Miro whispered sleepily, almost to himself. "I only have to let the tide carry me, slowly, gently, into rest." The night grew softer still. Far along the shore, the lighthouse continued its slow, steady glow, pulsing gently over the dark water, guiding every tide boat safely home. The wave rolled in without hurry, whispering softly against the sand, then pulling back out just as slowly, over and over, like the sea itself was breathing. Fenn tucked her wings close, resting quietly on her wooden post, watching over the sleepy harbor. Her eyes grew heavy too, glowing softly in the moonlight, blinking slower and slower until they finally closed. Miro rocked gently in his place between the other sleeping boats, his sail hanging soft and still, his wooden hull creaking only faintly now, like a slow, peaceful breath. The tide moved beneath him, calm and unhurried, carrying him deeper and deeper into rest. Somewhere far along the shoreline, another gull called out softly, its voice fading into the hush of the night. A shell shifted quietly in the shallow water, settling back into the sand. The wave rolled in one more time, soft and slow, then pulled away again, leaving only stillness behind. The moon hovered high above the harbor, glowing steadily, patient and warm, watching over every boat, every shell, every quiet ripple of the tide. Its soft light spread across the water like a gentle blanket, wrapping the whole harbor in calm. Miro's sail no longer fluttered. His wooden body no longer creaked with worry. He simply rested, rocking gently with the slow rhythm of the tide, cradled by the soft glow of the moon and the quiet hush of the sleeping harbor. "The tide always knows the way," he murmured sleepily, remembering Fenn's gentle words, and slowly, softly, surrounded by the calm water, the glowing moonlight, and the whisper of the wave, Miro closed his eyes. The harbor grew still, the wave grew quiet, the shells rested peacefully in the sand, and the lighthouse continued its slow, steady glow, far across the water, watching over every sleepy boat. Everything was calm, everything was safe, and little by little, gently and slowly, Miro drifted into a deep, peaceful, quiet sleep.